What's up, guys? Coach Matt Magnum here, and today we're going to discuss a short summary on the greatest resolution program ever. All right. In all seriousness, though, this is something that anybody can kind of just jump into and start doing. It's incredibly accessible and something that is kind of, quite frankly, stupidly simple to understand and keep up with. This is actually what I did all last year, and it was one of the better years I've had training-wise in a while. I really enjoyed it, got a lot of great gains off of it, so I'm tweaking and improving it for 2021. I'm going to do a much longer explanation at some point, but I just want to kind of give you guys a quick explanation, because if you're just checking out the daily workouts and you're not knowing what's going on, now you'll know what's going on quickly until I do that longer explanation. So the first thing I'm going to go over today, the main point is just that we are only going to be going back and forth between 2 different days. That's it. Now you might have some variety and you got some different options on what you do on either day, but there's only really 2 main goals for a workout day. That is either a conditioning emphasis day or a movement pattern day. All right, so I'm just going to run down the options and that'll be it for today. So conditioning, and this is the thing that if you're going to be following this, and just a really good idea in general, and I will harp on this later, GPP, drags and carries, drag stuff, push stuff, and carry stuff, but it's easier to find something to drag than to push. So I'm going to harp on this. If you don't have anything, get an old tire. Just go to a tire shop or something that works on cars, get an old tire, hook a rope around it, drag it around, and that is going to be some of the best conditioning you will ever get, and I will do more about that later. But that is going to be the main makeup of our conditioning day. GPP, dragging that tire, okay? But also we've got steady state cardio, which is what most people think of. Jogging or elliptical or biking or stair climber or whatever. That is an option that you can do on conditioning day. Circuits, you can set up different exercises emphasizing getting the heart rate up, breathing heavy, put it back to back to back to back, and now you have a circuit. So that is an acceptable option. And then in general, fun activities. I like to box. I like to hit the heavy bag, the double in bag. That is something that you are going to see me post a lot of. If you do not have a boxing bag or a heavy bag or whatever, that's fine. If you like to play basketball, go play basketball. If you like to ride your bike around the neighborhood, ride your bike around the neighborhood. That is just like fun activities. If it's fun for you to go for a jog, you can do that. If it's fun for you to do one of these other things, you can do that instead. All right, so that is the conditioning emphasis day. And then we have a movement pattern day. The main movement patterns we are going to be doing: squatting pattern, pushing pattern, pulling pattern, and then core work. That's not really a pattern exactly, but that is a collection of core work. All right. So here's the thing. I want to do this to get as many people that can do it as possible, so it does not matter what equipment you have necessary. This is something where I'm going to be writing out a program that might be a little vague so that you can fill in the dots. But if you're ever unsure of what to do, ask in the comments and I'll answer it. So squatting pattern, pushing pattern, pulling pattern, core work. You can do this with weightlifting. If you have a barbell, free weights, and you're comfortable with that, it could be barbell squat, bench press, and then barbell row. It could be front squat. It could be overhead military press. It could be one-arm dumbbell row, okay? If you do not have access, or if you have access to machines, it could be leg press, chest press machine, lat pull down, okay? That's okay too. If you don't have access to any of that, if you're using body weight, then it could be, if you're brand new to it, it might be body weight squat to a chair. If you've been doing it for a while, it can be very slow tempoed body weight squats with isometric pauses to make it harder. You could do push-ups, all kinds of different various push-ups if you have access to dip bars, and then either pull-up variations, or you can use, maybe get limited equipment, a dumbbell or a kettlebell for some one-arm rows, something like that. So if you have access to equipment, that's great. But if you don't have access to equipment, you can still do this too. But the focus is on movement patterns, not necessarily different muscle groups, or, I'll get more into that. But it's about learning how to move your body in an efficient, effective way. So that's why we talk about movement patterns, anyway. And then you have high rep body weight exercise down here, which kind of straddles both. Because if you're new to body weight exercise, that might be enough to build strength. But eventually, to build the most amount of strength, you're going to need some kind of external resistance. But that doesn't mean that you just stop doing body weight. You can still go high rep now, and that kind of straddles both sides. But anyway, so that's the point of today, is just as you're seeing me release the daily WOD, just get used to the idea that either it's going to be a conditioning emphasis day or a movement pattern emphasis day, and then you have different emphasis that can happen there. Movement pattern, maybe we're doing that for strength one day. So again, maybe it's 3s and 5s if you have weights, or maybe it's really slow tempo and pauses if you're doing body weight. Maybe movement pattern is going to be a high rep day that day, and that's okay. Conditioning day, same thing. If you don't feel like dragging the tire that day, just sub something, and as long as you're doing something every day, moving, burning calories, getting your movement patterns in to build strength and whatnot, you'll be getting lots of results. So check out the daily WODs. Again, I'll be releasing more videos explaining more as you go, but just the big thing, 1, get that tire no matter what. And 2, just try hard, sweat hard, and it shouldn't be complicated. It shouldn't be complicated. Just put in the effort and do simple stuff hard, burn lots of calories, and you'll be good. So, all right, follow the Coach Matt Magnum page and all that good stuff. So, see ya.